Hello and welcome back everybody to the channel here on Canvas and Craft. This here is probably one of the most challenging watercolor portraits I've ever attempted. So let's get right into my trials and tribulations of trying to recreate this wonderful looking older woman. Now, I chose this particular reference photo because I wanted to try the challenge of painting older skin, the lighting, and more in particularly the wrinkles. I'm sorry to say that she has them. It makes her very expressive. But I wanted to see if I could honestly practice painting it. And honestly, the challenge of trying to paint older skin is what captured me and wanted me to paint this particular painting. I had no idea how this was going to turn out, but I wanted to give it a try anyways because it's a learning experience. But because it was such a challenge, that's exactly why I wanted to try it. So let's get into it. First of all, let's be honest. I was watching a YouTube video and I believe it was a gentleman that was doing it, and he was painting it in acrylic. Now, I have acrylic paint, but I'm not a big fan because I'm a born blender. Okay, I like to fiddle, I like to move things around, and acrylic paint just dries way too fast. So I started off here with basically just sketching it out because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. So I didn't know how it was going to turn out to begin with. So I started off with a rough sketch because I didn't have a whole lot of high hopes for it. I was hoping it was going to turn out, but fingers crossed, but I wasn't sure. So I sketched it out so I could practice it. And it came out pretty good. And when I started painting it, I realized just how much frustration I was going to get out of this painting. Because the guy the gentleman that I was watching on the YouTube video started talking about how to paint it. And he's like, okay, this is how you do it. It's the darks and the shadows and the way everything goes around the skin. But he basically talked about how to do it and didn't actually show how to do it. So I kind of had to kind of work that bit out on my own because there wasn't much direction other than the gentleman talking about the way you have to paint the older skin. And basically what I gathered from what he was talking about was the darkest part is the fold, and then there's light that goes around it in the high spots and the low spots. And I tried to follow along with his video. I'm going to be honest with you. I did try to follow along with his video, and I watched him do it while I was trying to paint it. And I realized shortly thereafter that it was going to be a problem. Okay, there was so many problems in this painting. I don't even know where to begin. First of all, I believe it's supposed to be a lady, but as I started painting it, it looked more and more like a gentleman. So there's that. But I had the hardest time with trying to mix the appropriate colors. As you'll see later on in the video, I pull out my scrap piece of watercolor paper and tried to match what I saw in the image. And I could not for the life of me get it to work because this was watercolor, not gouache. And it didn't quite capture the appropriate color. I'm not sure what colors he used, but because he was using acrylic and I was using watercolor, it didn't work out. The colors I could not get to match. The eyes, they just looked flat and cartoony. And the wrinkles looked more like lines than wrinkles. I did attempt to follow his instructions. Nothing against him, but I tried to follow along and make like the darkest spots and then make the lightest spots. But going from what I'm doing watercolor and he's doing acrylic, it didn't really work out. So if I was to do this painting again, I would maybe try to find something that was watercolor or gouache first, because I could not match the colors. And every time I try to color, I put it on and I'm like, oh my, what is this color? Because it just didn't work. It didn't match anything that he did in his video. So I kind of had to pivot. And I had to try to make it look as good as I possibly could, because I was trying to learn how to capture an older person, which older people have so much experience, so much life experience, and a lot of them are just a joy to be around. And they have so many experiences and so many stories, and some of them are just the sweetest bunch of people ever. And I wanted to capture that because there's a lot of people that I run into that are just so calm, and they're just hilarious. They really are. Not that they're being funny, but they just don't care. I mean, they don't care about offending people or whatever. I mean, they could offend you with a smile, and it's just like, okay, yeah, it's a wholesome truth when they tell their stories. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is true. And it's like, well, I'm not trying to offend, but they're just a wonderful bunch of people. And I just love going out and helping people who maybe can't get around as well. And it makes me feel really happy to be able to be there for somebody else that is in need. Not like, okay, there are some people who are just nasty people and you really don't want to do anything for them, which kind of breaks my heart. But being able to go out and And like if you talk to them a couple times, like we're in my neighborhood, there's a couple older people, and it's just a joy to talk to them and to help them out. And they're just sweet people. They're just like every other people, but they just have so many stories and experiences. And I wanted to practice painting an older person because there's so many people that I have met in my travels that are older people, and it seems to me like the older people are they're wonderful people to be around, and I love being able to help them. It just makes my heart sing. So I wanted to try and attempt to paint it. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, and I just wanted to practice. Now, this particular tutorial, I'll leave a link down in the description below to the painting that I tried to copy, and I don't think I did it too successful. I got it to a point where I'm okay with it. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. I'm not putting it up in the art gallery or anything like that, but just to put it in my Rolodex, if you want to call it that, to say that I tried to paint it, I will do that. It's a learning experience, but it was very frustrating because I could not get and I've tried to get the highlights, and the only way that the highlights work for me, because I was working with watercolor, the only way I could get the highlights to work is if I pulled off all of the color and went back to white paper, and it was super frustrating because in the acrylic paint that he did, like the eyes, for example, it was flat on his on his painting. But when I tried to do that in watercolor, they just, I don't know, at certain points, they just looked lifeless. And I wanted to bring life to the painting and represent this wonderful lady. And I had to kind of shoot from the hip, I guess, and just kind of go my own way and try to get it to look as good as possible while trying to practice doing the wrinkles. Like I said, they just looked like lines, and I understand that like it's the darkest part. I would have to come back and visit this again. I'm thinking maybe instead of going straight black, like everybody's brain thinks that straight black means shadow. Maybe if I tried to use like a darker brown for the base and then kind of shaded it in like skin tones, maybe it would have worked a little better. We'll have to do later. We'll have to revisit this later on and see if we can't try this again, maybe with a better tutorial, because there's a lot of things that I would like to be able to paint and know how to paint it, because I think I have a little bit of a skill with doing portraits, and I love doing it because it's kind of like doing a really difficult puzzle to where you're not sure how all the pieces are going to fit together or if all the pieces are going to work together. And I really just want to practice to how to paint it because I enjoy painting and I enjoy art. Actually, I enjoy a lot of things, not to keep talking, but I enjoy a lot of different things, and there just really isn't enough time to do everything that I want to do. But because I have joined an art gallery, I have to work on doing portraits so that I have things to put up, or I have portraits or artwork to put up in the art gallery. So, and to show off to my community, which is exciting me because they're doing a bunch of murals around my town, and I think art is starting to make a comeback, which is making me very happy because for the longest time AI has taken over. Like, okay, we're coming for everybody's jobs. And it's like, okay, you're coming for my job, but they're always coming for artists. At all throughout history, they have belittled and stepped on the artists for as long as I can remember. And it's not fair, but that's the great thing about being an artist, is that you have to roll with the punches, so to speak. You have to keep moving forward because it is worthy of your time. It is a skill that not many people can do. And if you can do, they can't do it as well as you, because you as an artist, you make it your own style, whether it's a style or not, or you paint it in a certain way. If 100 people painted the same picture, they would all come out different because they're all painted by different hands. There's individuality in everybody's painting. And I don't want to talk your ear off or anything like that, but I just wanted to let you know that that's my feelings on it. And whether it's a masterpiece or not, I got it to the point where I was okay with it, because I was so frustrated with it that I just wanted to wrinkle it up and not show the world, because I was just so frustrated. I'm like, you know what? No, we have to push through the frustration and try our hardest to get this painting done so that we can say we at least gave it everything that we had at the time, with the skill level, with the information to paint this. So I just wanted to encourage everybody that this is the paint process again, and not everything turns out to be a masterpiece, but you have to keep pushing forward and you have to keep practicing, because you will eventually get better. So enough of my blibber blabber. I will let you get back to watching the video. I want to say thank you so much for stopping by this week. I really do appreciate each and every one of you that stopped to watch my video, even if it's just for a couple seconds, because it does me so good just to see you all and see all your wonderful, beautiful faces. Even if it's not in person, at least I can say that I have views, and I'm so happy that you could stop by this week and see what kind of adventure I'm taking this week. concludes our video for this week of our watercolor older lady. I hope you had fun. I hope you come back next week here on Canvas and Craft. And if I haven't said it before, hi, hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Lynn, and here we do all things crafty, which there's an extensive list of things that I can do crafty, but I have been kind of toning that down a bit. I actually did a painting, or no, I actually did a sculpture a couple weeks back and nobody even cared to watch it, which is completely fine, but I thought it was going to be a hit because it's so adorable. It was my little oak from Heartopia, the pencil holder. Nobody seemed to care about it, but you know what? It's perfectly fine. I did it for me and my sister because he's an adorable oak tree. Anyways, enough of my blabbing. As always, thank you for stopping by and take care. Stay inspired. I'll see you in the next creative adventure. Hopefully the next one turns out better than this one, and I'm quite sure it will because I'm not going to give up on you and I'm not giving up on myself. Take care, everybody. Stay inspired and keep making beautiful things, even if they don't turn out the first time, but keep making beautiful things or practicing to make beautiful things one project at a time. I hope you all have a wonderful, fun-filled weekend. Stay safe, everybody. All right, see you next time. Bye.